بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And a very good morning to you all. On behalf of IOFI Secretariat, it gives me a great pleasure to welcome you to the second day of IOFI IDB 19th Annual Islamic Banking and Finance Conference. We start the day by the MOU signing ceremony, and for that, I would like to invite Mr. Umar Mustafa Ansari, the Secretary General of IOFI, to join us on stage. The pen? There is no better pen. The first MOU will be signed with Hijaz Institution of Australia, and I would like to invite Mr. Hakan Oziun, the Group CEO, to join us on stage. Thank you. The second MOU will be signed with Taif Digital Institute, UAE, and I would like to invite Mr. Muhammad Diyauddin Siddiqui, the CEO, to join us on stage. We have a registration and training agreement to be signed with Qatmir Smart Management Consultancies in UAE. And for that, I would like to invite Professor Dr. Abdussalam Ismail to join us on stage. We have another registration and training agreement to be signed with the Institute of Banking Studies of Libya. I would like to invite Dr. Fathi Khalifa, the General Manager, to join us on stage. We have also a registration and training agreement to be signed with Muamalat Consulting of Uzbekistan. For that, I would like to invite Mr. Iskandar Torsonov, the founder and the CEO, to join us on stage. Thank you. The last MOU will be signed with Pakistan Islamic Finance Professionals Association, and for that I would like to invite its president, Dr. Mughith Shawkat, to join us on stage, along with Vice Presidents Dr. Muhammad Bilal and Mr. Nadeem Asghar Ali. Cheers. Thank you, Brother Amr. Thank you all. This ends our signing or MOU signing ceremony. We will start, inshallah, the first session of the day which is Challenges in Conversion of Islamic Finance Institutions and Economies. If you just allow us a few minutes to set up the stage, and then I'll call up the panelists of the session. So for the first session of the day, titled Challenges and Conversion of Islamic Finance, Institutions and Economies, I would like to invite the chairman of the session, Justice Dr. Syed Muhammad Anwer, Alim Judge of the Federal Sharia Court of Pakistan, to join us on stage. And for the panelists of the session, I would like to invite Mr. Yusuf Hussain, the President and CEO of Faisal Bank, to join us. The second panelist is Mr. Ahmed Yusuf Kadhim, the Manager in Banking and Supervision Department of the Central Bank of Iraq. And we also have Mr. Murad Abdel Hafid, the Director of the Islamic Products and Services in WDA Bank of Libya. I would like also to invite Dr. Mu'taz Abu Jeeb, the Director of Operations at IFAS Group, to join us. And finally, Dr. Muhammad Yusuf Salim, the Chief Policy Advisor, the Afghanistan Bank, Islamic Emirates of Afghanistan. Justice, the floor is yours.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You can hear my voice? No? Now it's okay. I don't need to. Okay.
आपको प्रेजेंटेशन है
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. Ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum and good morning. The topic of today's panel, this panel will be challenges in conversion of Islamic finance. So I will request that we will remain limited to this focused topic. Although we will discuss also
Voice they're saying. It's not.
voice.
आपने ये on किया. हाथ में.
Now you can hear. Okay. So the topic of today's panel is challenges in conversion of Islamic finance. The challenges of conversion from normal banking to the Islamic finance is everybody is going through it, even institution and some jurisdictions also. We often say that the conversion is a process. It is not an event. It's a continuous process. Whenever we change from one system to other, it will take some time and will face some challenges. In Pakistan, I would like to share the experience of Pakistan because Pakistan is right at the moment is in the process of conversion from conventional banking and conventional financing to the Islamic banking completely. And it is very strange that when we talk about the Islamic financing, Pakistan was considered as the leading state to promote Islamic financing. The term of Islamic financing and Islamic banking started in Pakistan in 50s. But the real conversion is still underway. Why it took so long? The term Islamic financing and Islamic banking was alien before 1975 in the world. It started with the establishment of Islamic Development Bank and Dubai Bank. Then second phase or milestone in the evolution or development of, we all know that, comes with the establishment of IOFI in 1991. That was a major turning point for the world. Then lately, and rather recently in 2013, when multinational like World Bank and IMF, they started promoting the policies of inclusion towards Islamic finance. And that all happened due to the standard promoted by this organization, which is our host today, IOFI. The standardization is very crucial and core thing in conversion. It gives the process certainty and clarity which is required. So, when we decided to convert our economy in Pakistan, we took the guidance from Sharia. Sharia is a guidance, it gives us guidance in every direction, in every sphere of life. How? Because for gradualization, we got the guidance from Sharia, from the principle of Sharia, which is called, we all know, tadrij, tadarruj. We cannot eliminate riba by a magic wand. It will take time. And the question is, what is the reasonable time for conversion? Every jurisdiction, every institution has a different answer to it. As, for example, in Pakistan, we took the example of a bank, one of the premier bank. It decided to convert from conventional banking to the Islamic banking completely, and it took it 5 years. Luckily, we have the present president of that bank here with us as a panelist, Mr. Yusuf Saab, Yusuf Hussain, president and CEO of Faisal Bank. So, taking that example, if one bank, one reasonably good bank can be converted from conventional banking to Islamic banking, why not other banks? From that example, we gave 5 years to all the other institutions to convert from normal banking to Islamic banking and Islamic financing. And Alhamdulillah, luckily, last month, on the basis of our decision, now our constitution, the date is now incorporated in the constitution of Pakistan that the banking sector of Pakistan should be converted to Riba free or converted to Islamic banking by 1st of January 2028. Alhamdulillah. Some other important principle from which we sought guidance from Sharia were: number one, fiqh al-waqi, that a scholar of Sharia must be aware of reality, what is going on around the world, what are the realities. It is the requirement of Sharia. Secondly, what we call it fiqh al-ulawiyat, the priorities. When we are talking about conversion, we have to set the priorities. What should be converted first and second and third? Then the fiqh or Sharia gives us guidance through fiqh al-ma'alat, the process, the jurisprudence of consequences. If we take any step, what will be its consequence? We have to consider that also in mind. So these are the guiding principle which our religion gives us, Islamic jurisprudence gives us. And obviously, as I said earlier, the tadreej, the graduality. Serious steps cannot be taken suddenly. It will take time. So, with this background, let me introduce the panelists. First of all, we have Mr. Yusuf Hussain, President and CEO of Faisal Bank. Then Mr. Yusuf Khadim, who is Manager in Banking Supervision Department, Central Bank of Iraq. Then we have, mashallah, Murad Abdul Hafiz from WDA Bank Libya. Then a young consultant from Bahrain, Motiz Al-Wajib. He is from Bahrain and UK. And then we have very honorable guest from Speaker Muhammad Yusuf Salim, who is Chief Policy Advisor in Afghanistan Central Bank of Islamic Emirates of Afghanistan. MashaAllah, he is here. And it reminds me yesterday's speech of Governor of State Bank of Afghanistan. He pointed out in his speech very important point, that when we talk about ecosystem of Muslim economies, then he pointed out the importance of Islamic social finance. First, it has precedence over Islamic commercial finance. Yes, Islamic commercial finance is important, but major thing is Islamic social finance. Sadaqat and zakat. We have to regulate that. We have to make them, all these social financing which Islam gives, into the mainstream. So he rightly pointed out that. So it is the whole picture, it comes first, social finance comes first, and commercial finance comes last, and elimination of riba is though important. It is the important thing, but it is one little thing in Islamic in Islamic commercial finance. Another thing is equally important to eliminate is gharar. It is also important. We will talk about it when we talk in the discussion regarding the fintech thing. So let me first come to request Mr. Yusuf Hussain Saab, share us with your experience of conversion of a bank from conventional to Islamic bank, completely, which happened successfully under your able, intelligent leadership. Yeah, please.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Thank you very much, Justice Saab, and thank you very much, IOFI, to enable me to gather in front of such an august audience. So I just, as Justice Saab said, that our country really is at the cusp. We have 6 pure Islamic banks, and we have windows in over 20 banks. But the challenge really is to convert the entire financial system into a Sharia compliant system. So we are moving towards that. So Faisal Bank, I always term this, it is, in Urdu we call it irade se takmeel tak, and in English we will call it from dream to reality. So it took us almost 5-6 years. We converted from a conventional bank to an Islamic bank beginning of last year. But actually the thought process was much before that, but unfortunately it could not get steam in the earlier days because we really did not know how to move about it. So it was the last 5 years before 2023 that the real action happened. So Justice Saab has already told you about the background, what is happening in Pakistan. So hopefully, inshallah, in the next 2-3 years, the whole world will see the difference. And I think this is the right approach. Equally important is the social fabric that you talked about, Justice Saab, and our friends from Afghanistan also spoke about it. So we call it a journey of faith and belief, because you plan for something and we plan for so many things. And then actually it's the Almighty who actually makes it a success. And whatever you may call it, but there were times when we did not have a clue what to do. And it was actually the intent, the good intent that we had, which really carried us forward. So it is regarded the world's largest global transformation of a conventional bank to an Islamic bank because of its size, scale, and complexity. Today, what is Faisal Bank? It has almost 850 branches as of end of 2024, inshallah, 220 cities, 2 million customers, widest range of Islamic products, 9,000 plus employees transformed, mentally transformed to earn rizq-e-halal. So these are all motivated human beings who actually believe in the cause that the economy has to be riba free, and they have to sort of be the change agents. Where did we get the inspiration from? It is actually from this ayat, Ihdina Siratul Mustaqim. Guide us on the straight path. You know, and in life as well, this is what it is. We are all accountable for our own deeds, and we are all accountable for what we do as individuals. And what a change it has been for all our employees if because they have started thinking like that. So I think this is equally important, that how do people who are working in an organization think about the transformation. What did we do? So we redefined our core values, and these core values are driven from the Islamic principles. Faith and belief, teamwork, integrity, we call it imanat or sadaqat. So this is directly from our Prophet's life, amanat and sadaqat. And then care, which is so much important in Islam. It's not about the care, internal care, but it's about customer care, it's care for the society, it's care all around. and innovation. Look at our history. We've lost paths, but we were pioneers as a combined nation of Muslims for so many hundreds of years. So it has been a journey of faith and belief, commitment and dedication, supported by, of course, our sponsors, the board of directors, firm belief and enablement that this is the right way to move forward. State Bank of Pakistan, there's nobody from State Bank, but they were really hand in glove with us because everybody saw this as a challenge and everybody wanted it to be successful. Sharia board and scholars, I mean, all of the people sitting over here, internationally and locally, Mr. Nizam Yaqubi, I mean, people like him, he really helped us in various issues, how to transform, what to do and what not to do. Dr. Ishrat is sitting over here. He's our ex-governor, and he has been a pioneer in terms of putting out the entire framework for Islamic banking. He was such a great help. Our peers, regulators, everybody helped. So it was really a partnership approach. Employees, we've already spoken about it. Customers, surprising. I mean, 1.5 million customers adopting to Islamic banking and welcoming it, in fact. When we started, we thought that we'll lose about 25 to 30% of our deposits because people are not going to adapt to Islamic banking. They don't understand it. Awareness was a problem. Surprisingly, everybody sort of welcomed it, everybody adhered to it, everybody adopted it. So I can only remember a few dissensions where people objected that they don't want Islamic banking. It was such a pleasant surprise because it was all divine help. So how did we do it mechanically? The first guiding principle was that it has to be a responsible conversion. and Justice Saab spoke about it, the number of years required, stakeholder value protection. And who are the stakeholders? Customers, sponsors, regulatory compliance, commercial considerations. I mean, this is a foreign-owned bank. We did not really want to lose the momentum on the commercial side, so it was carefully planned. Employee care. Employees are the change agents. So we ensured their motivation and commitment. Internal communications, extremely important. So it was a milestone-based approach, transformation plus growth. We expanded as well. So it was sort of a double journey. We had to convert, and we wanted to expand as well. So from almost 400 branches when we started, we reached 845 today, but when we converted, we were over 700. So we already spoke about the board commitment and supervision. Leadership doesn't happen like this. It's not a bottom-up approach. It's a top-down approach. So I couldn't run it myself. We had to have a like-minded senior with commitment to the cause and responsibility of mindset transformation. So with such a large bank with so many thousands of people, it cannot happen without the mindset transformation. So we had an empowered conversion head, sales discipline, stop conventional business, all new business is Islamic. So you really had to take a leap of faith in many ways. And the barakah was always there. So conversion approach was to build momentum, what can be done, rather than what cannot be done. So quick wins were focused upon and strict to the agreed timelines. So you had to discipline the entire thing. And the sense of pride that we were able to actually instill in the employees that they were actually doing the right thing. I think that was absolutely critical. So initiating the transformation, I mean, like all other transformations, there was a 5-year corporate strategy, and then there was this Islamic business transformation plan, which was really a part of the entire strategy. So the phase one really was, before we hit the market, it was really an inward-looking approach, which said that we had to look at products, systems, processes, policies, employee training, upskilling them, retooling them, talent acquisition. So that is a major problem in all the markets, that there is no talent available. So that was important. And the brand transformation. How do you convert from a conventional bank to an Islamic bank? So that was a major challenge. And then employee communications, we already spoke about it. And then the actual action in the last 3 years started. So it was a phased product rollout with geographic conversion, milestone-driven execution, continuous stakeholders engagement. It was an asset-led strategy, because in Pakistan, like in most countries, there's a problem of quality assets, because the Islamic market is like 20-25% of the total market. So you have to find Islamic assets before you actually converted the deposits. Otherwise, the Islamic deposits cannot be deployed anywhere. So it was a carefully sort of planned transformation. Human mindset, the true game changers, and I cannot emphasize it enough. So I still remember when we told our employees, so some of them were excited, some were skeptical because they weren't trained, they were not motivated. So what we told them about was that end of the day, so Allah says in the Quran that you will be tested through your children and through mal. So everybody is accountable for his own personal financial management system. And we said to them that, look, what are you taking home? So you have to basically remove impurity from your own life, and you have to basically transform your own life first, make your risk as risk-e halal. So you know that really worked, and that will work everywhere with every Muslim, because end of the day that's the reality. So the personal mindset transformation played really magic in this entire thing. So they became the change agents, and they converted 1.5 million customers without a blip. So I think in any transformation that will really play a key role. Leadership at the top, bringing it down, engaging people, converting their mindsets. And obviously you have to equip them, you have to make them aware of what the products are like, and so when they're sitting in branches, they actually know what they're talking about, also in terms of faith and in terms of the actual products. So it's not the faith alone doesn't work. You have to have enabling products, enabling environment, customer care. So all these were done through these change agents. Then brand and perception management. So you are a leading brand in terms of conventional banking. How do you transform? So for many years, we actually ran two fascias. And then slowly but surely we transformed as the branches converted. The fascias also, and the brand was also changed. So customer conversion through conviction and education. So what worked for our employees worked for the customers as well, because it's a 98% population in Pakistan is Muslim. So post-conversion, recognition as an Islamic bank, how do you do that? So you have to advertise, you have to hammer it in, you have to take part in the activities, what are happening around you, your CSR initiatives, utilizing the charity that is there in Islamic banking for the best cause. So engagement, that was very important. And this is really what happened. So alhamdulillah, from almost 32 billion at the end of 2015, so it's over ₹1 trillion in terms of deposits. So you can see the growth, you can see what happened after conversion as well in the last 2 years. So this is the financing, and again, from 20 billion, we grew to 580 billion. So this is what happened. What are the challenges? Justice Saab talked about Pakistan. So I would assume that these would be pretty much generic. These would be the challenges everywhere. So there's requirement on legal reforms, taxation, and then regulatory and supervisory reforms, awareness and capacity building. So many people know about Islamic banking, but they don't know what are the principles behind Islamic banking. How is it working? And most people, they make a joke about it, that it's the same thing. So one really needs, as an industry, we really need to sort of make them aware that what is it all about? And it's not the end result, it's actually the means and the ways you actually conduct your business. How is it more ethical than others? So that, I think, really needs to be sort of communicated. So academia has to be engaged, and at the education level, things have to change. So again, I'm sure our friends at IOFI are doing it, but there is a challenge in terms of the local adoption of the IOFI standards. With the coordination with the government and other stakeholders, very, very important. So in Pakistan, luckily for us, after the federal Shariat court decision, the state bank is very serious, and they're leading this change. Global challenges, I would say, almost pretty much similar. But I would urge that I think the coordination and the communication between the global players and the global central banks and the global banks has to really be increased. We have to collectively work for sort of the specialized systems and connectivity with other global networks. So that is a major challenge that we faced, that our core banking system was not really there. So, and I would assume that that would really be a problem. So all these larger companies which supply the core banking systems, vendors, they need to be sort of asked as a collective body that they should have some things standardized. Then this cross-fertilization of ideas that really needs to sort of happen. And more of these conferences in more countries need to take place. So we already spoke about public awareness. So, the fragmented standards, IOFI versus IFRS 9, it should really be worked upon with these organizations like IFRS 9 standards, that how do we sort of embed the Islamic standardization gaps. So, my friends, it has really been a journey and a half what we are doing in Pakistan. And the bank, including myself, we are all available to assist you in any which way possible. Our friends who really want to convert, who really want to transform, so it has to come from within. It cannot happen, it's not a mechanical process. You have to really sort of believe in the cause, you have to plan for it, and then it will happen. And the concept of barakah and Allah's support, the non-Muslims don't understand it. All of us do, and that really plays in the success. And if we plan for this good cause, inshallah ta'ala, Allah will help you. So we will continue to work on increasing awareness in Pakistan, and all of us really need to do this. We talked about cross-geographical and product knowledge sharing, IOFI role for product standardization all across the world has to be there, and lobbying with the government to amend the laws and the regulations. So I think a collective forum can really play a role in that. Thank you very much. Thank you for your time.
MashaAllah. Thank you very much, Yusuf, for such a thorough and wonderful presentation. And you rightly pointed out that it all depends on faith and niyyah. Iman wa niyyah. This is the core force behind conversion. One must say that. And yes, you also rightly pointed out that we need to modify the standards of IOFI according to our own markets. And we are doing that. And then thirdly, you rightly pointed out another thing, that it was fear of unknown in your employees and not the customers, but the in regulators, in government. It is the fear of unknown that we normally hear, that the economic system will be disrupted, which is not true. The truth is other way around. It brings more, because it has market demand towards Islamic financing and Islamic banking. So it will promote and boost. In Pakistan, our economy is not in a good shape. But our banking sector, the growth of banking sector for the last year is more than 100%. More than 100%. So it is one sign for that. Now, I will request Mr. Yusuf Hussain, Mr. Ahmed Yusuf Khadim, who is manager in Banking Supervision Department, Central Bank of Iraq. Yusuf, it is very common name in our panel. It is very beautiful. There are 3 Yusufs, mashallah. So, Yusuf Ahmed Saab, please. And I request, so if you keep consideration of time in mind, and please.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you, Doctor. And Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. First of all, I am so happy to be here in the Kingdom of Bahrain and the first time to attend one of the IOFI meetings. It's an honor to me. If you allow me to speak about one of the main topic of this panel, it's enhancing of financial inclusion and innovation through the adoption of Islamic fintech solution. So, next slide. You prefer I stand here? Or?
It should.
Okay.
Up to you.
Okay. No, comfortable. Okay. Next slide. The role of financial inclusion in achieving financial goals. Sorry. Oh. When I move to slide to other from here.
You can see here and screen also.
Moving from slide to other. From here. Okay. Of course, the role of financial inclusion in achieving financial goals has become so clear. The financial inclusion, sorry, I return back. Financial inclusion aims to promote social equality, promote economic development by pulling individual saving, reduce poverty by providing soft loans or simple loans, as we say, to individuals. Also, improve the standard of living and enhancing government effort to alleviate the effects of poverty and innovation or renewal through encouraging technical and institutional innovation as a means of expanding access financial services, improving infrastructure. Also, this we talked about, diversification, which is achieved through implementing policy enhancing competition. Knowledge, by providing a sufficient data to create usage policy based on measurement tools for both the regulators and the providers of financial services. By adopting a policy and legislation that is proportionate to the risk related to innovation. Protection, this is done by following a comprehensive approach to protect consumer of financial services, eliminate financial illiteracy. Working to encourage partnership and consultation between the government and the financial sector. The fintech. Of course, the weak financial inclusion and financial illiteracy affect providing financial services quickly and in the lowest cost. This can be addressed by technological innovation that provide advanced services and products in the financial sector. Well, the concept of financial technology include using digital technology to access the service, supporting joint operation between customers and financial institutions, combining financial knowledge and technological skills, achieving the transition of financial services from traditional to more advanced level. The importance of financial technology is evident in that it is a tool capable of improving financial efficiency by improving operational efficiency. The importance of innovation is technically possible in financial services, which is produce a new business model. This can be done by coverage a greater number of financial services, changing the structure of financial services provided in general. It's work to improve the quality of financial service provided to be available and accessible at any time and any place. The features of financial technology or the fintech. The accessibility for all users. Flexibility and affordability. Customer-based design, and this is the important thing, that I design a product or service based on the customer. Speed and efficiency. Data policy. The policy can improve the products and services provided to customers and allow business owners to make a better decision. Areas of financial technology. Of course, fintech has significant impacts on all aspects of financial services, from investment to payments to credit, making financial services more efficient and easier. One of the most important sectors that are adopting the field of financial technology are banking services. Financial technology is evident, personal finance, payments, lending, securing investment, and this is important. Financial technology contributes the speed of securing investment through the products with innovation solution. Digital distribution platforms. Also, assets and wealth management, a set of financial services provided by financial institutions to clients, which may include financial planning, investment, portfolio management, and private bank services. In general, this management consists of the following elements: distribution, consulting and advice, automated advisor, portfolio management.
Sir, we are short of time. If you kindly,
Sorry?
We are short of time.
Okay.
So if you kindly, if possible.
Okay. Financial transaction, financial inclusion. Sorry. Let's move. Now, I see this more important item to focus, the social responsibility of Islamic banks. Social responsibility is a set of voluntary actions carried out by the company in addition to legal compliance, such as charitable work and corporate governance. It's a voluntary work. Social responsibility reflects the moral commitment to institutions towards various parties. Social responsibility should be characterized by continuity and development. Social responsibilities is a part of standards of corporate governance and can enhance well-being society. Social responsibility in Islamic banks is defined as a moral and devotional commitment by which those in charge in managing Islamic banks contribute for forming, improving, and protecting the welfare of society and carrying for the social interest and goals of its member with the aim of pleasing God. Financial transaction in Islamic banks play a role in social responsibilities in terms of provision of usury or riba, and also the nature of Islamic financial instruction. Financial transaction Islamic banks play a role in social responsibility. It's responsible towards their members, it's responsible toward their depositors, responsible towards the surrounding environment. The Islamic deals with contribute to covering the aspects of responsibility if the effect of al-qard al-hasan, al-zakat are directed and clearly indicate the Islamic bank's practices of its social responsibilities. The use of financial technology by Islamic banks through a set of new digital services in the field of financial information, such as planning, consulting, and supporting operation between banks and their customers through the use of financial technology. The advantage of innovation, digital financial technology, and most important challenges of their adoptions. Speed and ease the money transfer services. Redeploy banking employees in operation with a greater value. It's not working. Okay. Providing Islamic finance services to new categories of customers who are not part of banking system, enhancing the degree of financial inclusion, especially for individuals excluded from dealing with the traditional banks. Financial technology contributes of finding more common financing alternative for people with a limited income. The choice of Islamic banks for modern system allow to keep pace with the development taking place in banking industries, help in developing their further plans for purpose of expanding their business, keep pace with growth in the needs of information technology provided by companies all over the world. So we here reach to the point what we need. We need to developing supervisory regulations to ensure that financial technology develops comply with the requirements and text of Islamic Sharia. Also, developing unified standards for Islamic financial transaction that contribute to the legal and Sharia interpretation for transaction to facilitate the risk technology companies. That's all. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for such a thorough presentation and stressing on the right thing, the fintech. Definitely, fintech helps in reducing gharar, which is anti-Islamic thing in any transaction, so far as it brings efficiency and transparency, which is the core requirement of any financial transaction. It is much needed. You rightly pointed out. Thank you very much, sir. So with the permission of two other panelists, if I may request the third Yusuf first. So please, Muhammad Yusuf Salim, who is Chief Policy Advisor of Afghanistan Bank, Islamic Emirates of Afghanistan. Sir, please.
Recording in progress.
I'll be brief.
Please.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. No, I don't use the slides. It's okay. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Dear brothers and sisters, I will just focus on the challenges which Mr. Moderator has informed me that the time is limited. Let me first of all start from the Quran itself. If you go to the Surah Al-Baqarah, ayah number 261, until the ayah number 253. The Quran first starts with the infaq. From ayah number 261. الذين ينفقون أموالهم في سبيل الله كمثل حبة أنبتت سبع سنابل. Then we have a series of verses on sadaqat, on infaq. After that comes the riba discussion. And the few next verses deal with the prohibition of riba. Then comes the deferred sale, the verses. The Dain ayah, the longest verse in the Quran, and then the ayah number 253 on the rahan, securitization, collateral issues. So these are the three main components of the Islamic financial system. Sadaqat, the prohibition of riba, and the deferred sale contracts. And we should have institutions that cater for these three. So the waqf in zakat, as mentioned by His Excellency the Governor yesterday, that deals with zakat, waqf, infaq institutions. We have to institutionalize this. Now, the challenge in front of us is the prohibition of riba and establishing institutions that really are involved in credit sale. Bay'a is a system. Bay'a is not confined to, at least in my opinion, Bay'a is not confined to sale. It includes sale, purchase, musharaka, mudaraba, with due respect to you. But my own opinion is this, because once a seller wants to sell something, he may produce the thing itself. He himself may produce the thing, or he may purchase the thing himself. Now he may join others to purchase the things, and this is musharaka. And others may give him credit, the principal, and this is the mudaraba. So I think the bay'ah system includes all. Now the challenge is how to establish bay'ah-based institutions and how to convert conventional loan-based institutions to bay'ah-based institutions. And this is our challenge. Alhamdulillah, with the coming of the Islamic Emirate in Afghanistan in 2021, there is the political will to Islamize the financial system. But this Islamization of the financial institutions must not be only in form, in name. As we know, the current interest-based financial institutions are meant to cater for loans, taking deposit based on loan and giving fund to others based on loan contract. If you want to change that, to convert that to a bay'ah-based institution that takes deposit based on mudaraba, investment account holders, and then channel the fund to others based on other forms of bay'ah like musharaka and mudaraba or murabaha itself, then this is the big challenge. And of course, this challenge means how to distribute profit between the shareholders and the investment account holders. In my opinion, if investment account holders receive the same amount of profit that they receive in conventional banking, then the people will not be able to see the true benefit of Islamic banking and finance. Investment account holders must receive at least a comparable return to that of the shareholders. And this is how we can call the institution in substance an Islamic Sharia-compliant financial institutions. So during the conversion process that we have undertaken now, of course the changes are now also being taken, it's the process. We faced some challenges. First, the challenges in the legal and regulatory framework. Before that, we had two sets of legal and regulatory frameworks, one for the conventional banks, another for the Islamic banks. And also at the Central Bank, we had two sets of regulations, one for conventional banks, another for Islamic banks. So this was a challenge for us, how to Islamize them. So we have started the process of amending the law itself. Both laws are being amended now in the process of amendment. And also we have told the banks to undertake the process of revising their policies, their procedures, their guidelines, their products, to make them Sharia compliant. Alhamdulillah, those banks that had Islamic banking windows had little problems because they already had the structure, the Sharia department, the Sharia board, the products, the policies, and the guidelines. They only needed to expand. Of course, with the prohibition of interest-based loans, it was much easier for them to expand because the conventional side was gradually decreasing, is also now decreasing. So the Islamic side is gradually increasing. The challenge was greater for those Islamic banks, or those conventional banks, that did not have the window. They have to start from zero, establish Sharia board, Sharia department, and come up with the policies. The next type of challenge we faced was on the asset side of the banks. How to convert interest-based loans to musharaka and mudaraba and murabaha, and what methodology should be used. Of course, there was also the tawarruq methodology for bulk conversion. There were also some fiqhi problems with the tawarruq mechanism. For the musharaka and mudaraba, we had also problems of the customer may not have an asset to sell to the bank or to become partner in musharaka process. So there were some problems also in this case. To add to these problems, some of the customers refused to pay their installments, arguing that interest is prohibited, so therefore we are not going to pay, and therefore they went to the court. And the legal process has started. That also takes a lot of time. On the depository side, on the liability side, the problems were relatively few. We could easily convert the current accounts into card-based contracts, accounts, and also the introducing a mudaraba investment account to the customers, which was relatively easy. Of course, that was not a problem. However, banks had also corresponding banking relations with other banks, nostro accounts, investments in bonds that may take some time to convert to Sharia compliant sukuk. We also had a challenge in the migration of the institutional structure from window to the full-fledged Islamic banks to avoid duplications and overlapping. And so therefore, those banks that had windows, they had little problems because they had trained, skilled employees, which make it easier. For your information, we have the two-tier Sharia boards, one at the Central Bank Sharia board, another at the individual banks that Sharia boards exist. Our big problem is, of course, the IT system. That is a problem. Our banks are trying to solve the problems, inshallah. And then capacity building, it's an ongoing process. We have made it mandatory for the Islamic banks so that the key position holders must have certifications from IOFI and from other internationally well-recognized and established institutions. I think I should not take much more of your time. That's, I think. Thanks very much for your attention. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you very much, Dr. Yusuf Salim Saab. You rightly pointed out the importance of positive duties of promoting infaq and sadaqat in the economic system of halal economic Muslim economies. And if you go through the ma'ayir of IOFI, one of the volume contains the debate behind the formulation of one standard. That is very important. You pointed out the issue of tawarruq and etc. So they all were resolved and discussed at least very openly. And it is now documented in that. That will help you out. And if you need any other help, I think Yusuf Saab offered his help. If you need, there are other banks also, very good bank, Islamic bank, they are running in Pakistan. So you can share their experience in Afghanistan also. Now I would request our member, panelist from Libya, WDA Bank, Mr. Murad Abdul Hafiz. Sir, please.
بسم الله السلام عليكم سأتحدث باللغة العربية النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال البخيل من ذكرت عنده ولم يصلي عليه فصلوا على رسول الله بداية بداية نقول الحمد لله العزيز الجبار القوي القهار، ثم الصلاة والسلام على النبي المختار. نحن ليبيا شعب مضياف وشعب يحب الكرم ويحب الترحيب، فوجب علي حضوري في هذه القاعة أن أرحب بكل الحضور الكريم حقيقة، لكن ترحيبنا دائما تختلف، فأرحب بكم باللغة العامية فأقول إيش حالكم وإيش الأخبار وإيش حال جملة ذويكم، أنتوا أميار خلفة أميار الجود والكرم، ريت فيكم أنتوا أحفاد سيدي المختار وما حد يزايد عليكم. وأرحب بكم باللغة العربية وأقول أهلا وسهلا والسلام عليكم، تحية مني تزف إليكم، ما أجمل الدنيا بكم لا تقبح الدنيا وفيها أنتم. إجابة على السؤال، التحديات التي تواجه المصارف داخل دولة ليبيا، ولنا تجربة في بنك الوحدة. كما يعلم الجميع أن المصارف تعد الركيزة الأساسية للدولة الليبية، ولها دور كبير في عمليات التمويل وفي عمليات الاستثمار وكل العمليات المصرفية المتعددة بمختلف أنواعها وأشكالها. فيما يخص السؤال حول التحديات التي تواجه المصارف في ليبيا والتي واجهتنا نحن كمصرف الوحدة، حقيقة اتضح من خلال الدراسات التي أجريت داخل الجامعات الليبية ومن خلال التجربة اللي نحن مارسناها كمصرف الوحدة أنه من الصعب جدا الانتقال من مصرف تقليدي إلى مصرف إسلامي. لكن اتضح أيضا أنه بهمم الشباب وبهمم الرجال لا شيء اسمه صعب أو شيء اسمه مستحيل. ليش نحن واجهتنا صعوبات؟ لأن هناك حقيقة يعني عديد العوامل والمؤشرات اللي تأثر في إمكانية تحول المصارف التقليدية إلى مصارف إسلامية، وهالعواقب هذين هي مرتبطة بالتشريعات داخل الدولة الليبية، أيضا مرتبطة بالمصارف التقليدية والقوانين اللي مرتبطة بالدولة. الحقيقة في سنة 2013 قامت الدولة الليبية بإصدار القانون رقم 1 لسنة 2013 اللي بشأن تحريم كل المعاملات الربوية داخل الدولة الليبية. قبل هذا القانون كانت هناك عدة مناشير وعدة قوانين صادرة من البنك المركزي من السلطة التشريعية في ليبيا. أذكر منها على سبيل المثال المنشور رقم 9 لسنة 2009، كذلك المنشور رقم 9 لسنة 2010، إلى أن وصلنا إلى سنة 2012 صدر قرار من السيد محافظ مصرف ليبيا المركزي بشأن تكوين لجنة استشارية تمارس مهام الصيرفة الإسلامية، وكان من ضمن أعمال اللجنة هذه هي تعديل القانون رقم 1 لسنة 2005 الذي ينظم عمل المصارف داخل الدولة الليبية. حقيقة صدور القانون رقم 1 لسنة 2013 كان بالنسبة لنا نحن اللي لدينا هوس بالعمل الإسلامي كان بمثابة النور، يعني بأمانة وبكل صدق أن نحن ننتقل من المصارف التقليدية إلى المصارف الإسلامية. فبدأنا بالخطوات الأولى، لكن كانت هناك عواقب، وسأختصر، لا أريد أن أطيل، سأختصر 3 عواقب واجهتنا نحن كمصرف الوحدة أو كالمصارف التجارية بصفة عامة في ليبيا. أول شيء واجهنا وهو القانون، ثاني شيء الجوانب الإدارية، ثالث شيء كانت في جوانب عامة. سأتحدث باختصار عن هذه الثلاثة. بالنسبة للنقطة الأولى اللي هي كانت عائق لنا كمصرف الوحدة وهي الأمور القانونية، يعني لا شك أن المصارف أنتم تعرفوا تخضع القوانين والتشريعات داخل الدولة، كذلك المصارف يعني ماشية بالقرارات والمناشير الصادرة عن البنك المركزي، لأنه هو الذي ينظم ويشرف ويراقب على عملية عمل هذه المصارف. فوجب علينا نحن كمصارف تجارية وكمصرف الوحدة أن نلتزم بكل المناشير الصادرة عن البنك المركزي والتي تتيح لنا الانتقال من مصرف تقليدي إلى مصرف إسلامي. حقيقة مصرف ليبيا المركزي ألزم المصارف بأن تتبع بعض المتطلبات لكي تتحول من مصرف تقليدي إلى مصرف إسلامي. فأول شيء يطلبه مصرف ليبيا هو ضروري يكون هناك قرار صادر من الجمعية العمومية للمصرف التقليدي بأن يتم التحول إلى مصرف الإسلامي، ويجب أن ينص صراحة على الانتقال من مصرف تقليدي إلى مصرف إسلامي، وأن تكون جميع أعماله متوافقة مع أحكام الشريعة الإسلامية. النقطة الثانية، يجب أن يتم تعديل اسم المصرف في عقد التأسيس مما يدل على الأنشطة التي يمارسها المصرف الإسلامي الجديد، سواء المعدلة أو العمليات الجديدة. كذلك الحصول على الموافقات الرسمية أيضا من مصرف ليبيا المركزي، وذلك يتم من خلال تكوين هيئة رقابة شرعية بالأسماء وتكون معتمدة من قبل الجمعية العمومية. أيضا وضع خطة زمنية لعملية الانتقال، ويكون فيها متضمن تقييم ماليا وفنيا. تعديل أيضا الهيكل التنظيمي، حتى هو من ضمن الأشياء اللي شرطها علينا نحن كمصرف ليبيا المركزي.
Sheikh, sorry to interrupt you. We are already running out of time. And so if you can kindly finish it. So we have to call next.
Okay, no problem. Okay.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Now I will request Mr. Mutaz Anwer, who is consultant.
Thank you.
Please come and please be brief. We are already short of time. Thank you very much.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. جزاكم الله خير. Thank you very much, and please allow me to also express my thanks to IOFI and ISDB for organizing this lovely event. I will be inshallah very short and concise. I'll try my best. What I will be trying here to do is more of give an overview of the work streams that usually involved in the conversion process. Just that will allow us to appreciate the challenges and the opportunities. So this is how it looks like. This is, of course, I just put them, put the key tasks basically in my own words, in my own classification, just to make things simpler. So basically, usually the conversion starts with like what I'm calling it here, the pre-conversion strategy and structural setup, where we need to have this, start the whole process with feasibility study, business plan. We need to introduce some, of course, we will need to have the board resolution, amendments to the bylaws, and all of this. So what I can highlight here is maybe two things here. The importance of having a leadership, which I'm very glad that, Mr. CEO of Faisal Bank highlighted, that, it's very crucial. You will need really to have a dedicated team and someone who is well averse with the conventional bank, because initially he will be dealing with a conventional bank, but as well as he need to be have the knowledge and expertise in Islamic finance to lead the conversion, and that's very crucial. So the choosing the conversion team is pretty much crucial to this process. What we have seen sometimes that the conversion team, they will involve other departments as they progress. And then they will face challenges when it comes to certain departments. So for example, they go to the treasury at a certain point of the conversion plan. And without involving them right from the beginning, what will happen that they will discover new issues. This is why it's very crucial, in my opinion, and through our experience as a consultancy, international consultancy firms, worked with several banks around the world, that you need to have a coordination mechanism right from the beginning. You need to have a cross-functional, departments committees, so you can involve everyone in the process, because it is really comprehensive process. Of course, then you will need to deal with the licensing, regulatory compliance, and there are a lot of details in this, but I don't think we have the time, so I will just skip this and go to the next, which usually promoted as the first step of the conversion process, though it is really not. All the planning is really part and parcel of the process. However, a key work stream is to look into the Sharia governance framework there will be a need to have a Sharia committee, terms and reference, the appointment, and as soon as you engage the Sharia board members, it will be easier on the process because ultimately they will approve the products. So as soon as you get this into place, you set up, you develop, you tailor your Sharia governance framework, setting up the Sharia compliance function, the Sharia audit functions. As soon as you start this process, as much the conversion, it would go smoother. Then the next, or usually a key work stream, is when you look to the product development, as well as the asset and liability conversion. So it starts usually with having the new Sharia compliant products. You need to look into the assets and liabilities and carefully start this process. And it's not only about having Sharia compliant structures. You need to develop the manuals, update the policies, procedures, and all aspects. Once you have this, you run your new products, you need to look to your portfolio. And here you need to do the conversion of the existing assets and liabilities. And here really the legal frameworks play a big role in this. So for example, in jurisdictions where deemed acceptance is legally recognized, you might be able to do a portfolio conversion, which means that, in one shot, or, you divide it into several components, but basically you will be able, for example, to send a notice to all your customers saying, okay, dear depositors, this is how we are doing. Your conventional deposits will be converted in this way, and will be the new terms. And by that, it's enough. But sometimes, in some jurisdictions, deemed acceptance might not be enough, for example, for a financing, especially if it is long-term financing, not maturing yet. So you need to have the consent of the customers, and there where the complexity will start. And then you might need to do it at individual level, which will put a lot of pressure and make the process of the conversion longer. And so this is among the challenges, key challenges usually within the process. Of course, then you will need to look to the investments, treasury, financial management. And again, it's not really about theory, right? We have, theoretically speaking, we have a lot of solutions, but you need really to have a Sharia compliant investment alternatives, a liquidity instruments. And this is where, the responsibility of everyone, because it's not really just the team of the bank that they can do this conversion. The market needs to have a certain liquidity instruments, Sharia compliant liquidity instruments, so you can succeed in this process. So of course, then, that does not stop. Then next, you need to look into the financial reporting, core banking system, IT systems. And in fact, it's not really next. All these work streams, some of these work streams, they need to come simultaneously, right? So we cannot really wait, work on one stream and ignore others. But however, just for the sake of presentations, we are putting them is like in the sequence. So however, this here, when we look to the systems, what I can share, it has been highlighted that it's a key challenge. You need to answer because several questions on the choice of the core banking system. Do you continue with your conventional, traditional core system and you bring a new module, or you alter the module that you have to accommodate for Islamic finance, or you bring a new core banking system? And here I would link it to an opportunity, because there was a huge development in this core banking system environment. Now there are a new core banking systems. They are really customizable, and they are, I would say, similar to Lego. They are really customizable components that you pick and choose, and you can use this opportunity to go to, I would say, a more of advanced core banking systems. And then here I put it like a key work streams, because I believe it is a core working stream. This is where you need to have the stakeholders engagement, the brand positioning and talent development. And I was very glad to hear from those who went into the experience of conversion to highlight this, that conversion, as believe it or not, as much as technically challenging, the most challenging part of it is deal with a human, is the cultural transformation. It's a mindset change. That's a key, because you need to get the buy-in of everyone within the institutions and all stakeholders. So you need really to work around this, and you need right from the beginning start engaging everyone in this and have this kind of cultural change. the value-driven change. And then, of course, whatever we do, there will be some kind of residual conventional issues. You will have some kind of challenges in converting some of the assets and liabilities. So you need to put some kind of mechanism to phase out the unconvertible conventional assets or liabilities, the disposal of the non-compliant assets and, purification process. And that will take time. So what we can, see at the end, it is the conversion is a tedious process. It takes time. And definitely this needs to be a well-organized, a well-planned process, and it needs to be well-coordinated, right? So, and it shall be well-supported, not only by the staff of the bank, but also by the shareholders and, of course, the regulators. And maybe in just 1 minute, without taking much of time, just here on the regulatory approach, it's very crucial to have the support of the regulator. Because what we have seen that, in some Muslim majority countries, there is no conversion framework, regulatory framework. And that makes hard for the banks to figure out the way how they can do it, especially during this phase. Because remember that, it will take like 3 years. This bank is neither a pure conventional bank, not yet also an Islamic bank. So it needs to have a special consideration, right? So some countries, they have developed conversion regulatory framework that helps. But I can see that, sometimes we have seen cases where it's easier, for example, to convert a bank in a single licensing environment like UK, because basically you don't need to apply for a new license, while it would be harder in jurisdictions where it is dual licensing, environment. And that, contradicts the aim and the objective that we have. Usually we have the Islamic banking regulatory framework to support and enable the growth. So we need to really rethink about the regulatory approach, maybe consider a milestone conversion approach, regulatory approach, where we can allow the banks to, as far as they are ceased offering the conventional products, they started, the conversion, had the purification plan, then maybe we give them a provisional, license of Islamic banks, allow them to start promoting themselves as Islamic bank without compromising of the Sharia compliance, because this is why I said, as far as they have a purification process, and there are so many ways to deal with this. We don't have time to go into this, SPVs, but there are ways basically to deal with this, and still you can start promoting yourself as an Islamic bank. So by this, let me conclude my presentation. And again, thank you very much for the valuable time and for listening. Jazakumullah khair.
For conversion, it is more about removing the fear of unknown, which can only be done through awareness. It is duty of everybody who's sitting here to bring awareness about the Islamic financing. It is nothing dangerous. It will not disrupt the economies. Rather, it will promote the economies. And the takeaway from this session can be that when we talk about halal economy for Muslim countries, ecosystem, the more important thing is promotion of Islamic social finance, then Islamic finance, Islamic commercial finance. And rightly pointed out by representative of Iraq and others also, the importance of fintech. It will bring efficiency and transparency in the system, which is required. And lastly, as pointed out by our friend who is young consultant, Dr. Muaz, that there is no hard and fast rule of conversion. Every institution or a country has to mold these standards to their requirement. to some extent, not much. So we have to remain flexible, and flexibility is the key for conversion. Thank you very much. For this, we conclude this session. And for question and answer, due to lack of time, all the panelists will be available in the lunch. You may ask the question if you want to from them.
Thank you very much, Justice Saab. Thank you very much to all the esteemed panelists for a great learned session talking about the challenges in the conversion of Islamic finance. Very well done. Thank you very much again to all of your esteemed panelists and the session chair.